everyone. I'm often asked how to edge things. People say to me, my hand always shakes, or I always make a mess, those kinds of questions. And so I thought I would just do a really quick demonstration of how I edge something. I'm using this pen, it's black, and this is one of the pens that I sell on my Etsy page, so I will put a link in the comments. But my first advice is have a little spray bottle, or a method of putting your little isopropyl alcohol spray in there so that it just squirts out when you need it, and a little wet wipe or something like that. And the first thing I'm going to just show you, and I do apologise if this is teaching you to suck eggs or whatever the phrase is, because I don't ever want to sound like I know it all. I genuinely am doing this just because I know that it's useful when you're starting out with resin to just have a few handy hints. So the first thing I do is I use my little finger as a rest. Now, if you just literally stand there and try and just do that in the air with a pen, you will feel loose and it won't feel strong. But if you put your little finger onto your little finger and then do it, you will be instantly strengthened. Does that make sense? Try it, grab a pen, do that and feel loose and wobbly, and then put your little finger on your little finger and do it again, and you will see that actually you really do have strength now. So you can apply that with anything. You can rest your little finger on anything and that will give you stability and it won't shake. So with these pens, the nibs are this wide, and they give a 1 to 2.5 millimeter line. So they're not really thick, these, but I really like these because of the fact that they're not thick. So actually you've got some control. The first thing I do with all of these is I balance my nib right on this sharp edge. So it's kind of in the middle. Oh, that was a good little exercise of showing you how not to do it. So it's balanced like that, and then see, I'm balancing my little finger on the piece to give me some strength, and then you can just drag it around. As you become more okay with these things, you will go faster, but there is no rush here, and we don't want to just waste this piece by making a mess. So as you can see, what that's done is it's given the very outside a little edge. So then I will turn it over. Ignore how scruffy the back of this is. It's going to have something else done to it. But anyway, and then I will just do this again. So as you can see, I've got the nib half on the, sort of right in the middle of the line there. I'm going to go over that bit again, like that, like so. And then you see the edge now. I'm just going to give that a second to just dry, because I don't want to be touching it and getting black everywhere. It shouldn't take too long to dry. I'll put my nib on while I'm doing it. So now what I'm going to do, because this nib is quite thin, I should be able to just go over that. I don't need to worry about getting close to the edge now because I've done the edge already. Now you could, instead of doing the edge first, you could just colour in the line there, the edge, but not go right to the edge and then do the edging afterwards. But I tend to always do the edge first and then do the line. So this is where my little finger is going to get rested. Ooh. Holding my breath. I'm literally here going, breathe, Sharon, breathe. These pens have got such great coverage. They go on really opaque. You can't see through it. It's really nice. Once it's dry, if you want to, you can always give it another coat, but I wouldn't recommend trying to touch it up while it's wet, because all you'll do is you'll just move the wet ink around the surface and create more gaps. So wait till it dries and then do another coat if you think it needs it. You can also do it this way if you want to, because you've done the edges, like the very, very close to the edges. You might prefer to do it that way. Or just straight down, straight down, straight down, straight down, straight down. There you go. And that is an edged piece versus a non-edged piece. Now, if you're using one of the thicker pens, like the Krylon pens, because the nibs are much bigger, you might just have to be a little bit more careful with it, because you can quite easily go too far over the edge. But practice on some pieces that you don't care about. Maybe when you've got leftover resin, chuck it into a mould that you don't really care about, that you don't mind if it goes a bit dull. Just a practice mould. You can always chop up, you can always smash up the cured bits later and chuck them in other pieces, which we can cover at a later date. And just practice before you actually go ahead and do something like this on a piece that you really like. And then if you do happen to accidentally go over the edge like this, then just as quick as you can, just give it a quick squirt with your isopropyl, and then one wipe, and then another squirt, and then one wipe. And what you'll find then, oh, she says, oh, I left it too long. I left it too long. Hang on, it is coming off. If you do more than one wipe, usually you get like a smear or a smudge, but I've had to put a little bit more effort. But you see, it has come off, but that was very close to it drying. That's how good these pens are. They really are permanent. I do always recommend using a gloved finger or a brush and going over the edges with some resin when it's all dried. And that's purely because, yes, it's resistant, this pen, from scratching, and yes, it's resistant from rubbing off, but with a lot of use it will wear off. Whereas if you just protect it with a very thin coat of resin like that with a gloved finger, you will just give it that extra protection. I hope that was helpful. Bye.